Check 1 2, check 1 2. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up if you can. Check 1 2, check 1 2. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Give me a thumbs up. Well, I don't need thumbs up. I can hear myself. Welcome, guys. It's your boy DH. I am here today for another version of Circle Talk. I am happy to have an old friend in the building. Let them know who you are, man.
My name is Adika Bell. First, I'd just like to say thank you for having me on Circle Talk.
Absolutely.
It's a blessing and an opportunity that I appreciate.
Hey, anytime, man. You've been doing some amazing things in the community, and I'm really excited to share that with the people. But before we get into it, guys, I want to make sure that I give a shout out to our sponsors real quick, because if I don't, they won't pay me. No, I'm just kidding. First off, shout out to my guy, Marvin Patterson, iShotTo.com. Like I always say, if you guys need any pictures and you live locally in Washington, my guy Marvin Patterson takes pictures any and everywhere you want to go. The pictures on my wall, you can't see them because we got some beautiful artwork behind us today. But the pictures of me and my kids, Marvin took all of the ones in the house, and he will meet you any and everywhere, and he's got a great price because of the summertime. So make sure you guys hit him up, iShotTo.com. Tell him I sent you, and he'll get you done right. Next, Icon ENT. Shout out to my guy, Willie Jr. Thomas, for continuing to support the Circle and Circle Talks and everything that we do. He has a lot of amazing things coming up this summer. The all-black party's already in line. I know today we are talking about the all-white party today, but the all-black party is coming in October, and I will be a part of that as well. So make sure you guys tune in. Icon ENT got major moves going on, so I'm excited for that. Last but not least, the Chaya movement. Miss Zakia. You know Zakia, right? From back in the day? Yeah, Zakia. She's been doing some amazing work with the Chaya movement. She's been turning rags to riches. She's been really busy in the community helping others, and I'm really thankful to have her be a part of this whole ordeal. So thank you, Zakia. Make sure if you guys have not checked out her website, go to thechayamovement.com and see all the amazing things that are going on in her world, as well as iShotTo.com and Icon ENT. So before we get into Adika, one thing that I wanted to just make sure I remind you guys, today is an all-white party, GSL, Grown Sexy Lives, all-white party going down at the new Marriott 6th floor. It's going down. Rooftop party, guys. I mean, who don't like rooftop parties in the summer? Mind you, the sun hasn't came through the clouds yet, but it's going down today. From 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Make sure you guys come check it out. There's still tickets available. All you have to do is hit myself up, hit up Marvin Patterson, Dion Lister. A few of us will be able to get you some tickets if you guys are wanting to be a part of that. It's going to be a great one. So watch out for me going live on that one as well. Last but not least, I really am excited for our third annual Thanksgiving in July. We're going to be going out Sunday, July 24th, and we're going to be feeding the homelessness in our community. So if you guys would like to be a part of this with donations, we're taking donations. We're taking food donations as well as clothing donations. And if you guys cannot bring any food or clothing, we are taking cash donations as well. Cash App, Circle Work 24/7, 365. You guys are interested in being a part of that. If you want to come out and work with us and help feed the community and take care of our people, hit me in my inbox. I'll get you guys the schedule on how it's going to go down from start to finish. And I'm really excited to, just get out there and help those that really could use it the most. So Thanksgiving in July, Sunday, July 24th, going down. So yeah, that's enough about all the things that are going on in my life. But I'm not here for me. Y'all know I'm here for the people, and my guy Adika Bell's in the building. I don't know if you guys see this beautiful artwork in the back, but we're going to get into that here in a minute. But usually when I do interviews, one of the things that I like to do is I like to take it back, to where it all started. And so if you don't mind, can you just tell them a little bit about your upbringing, like family life, brothers, sisters, anything like that, and how it was growing up on the Hill?
Yeah. Well, I started off on the east side, to be honest. I grew up on Fairbanks. Went to Rogers Elementary
Okay.
and Galt. It wasn't until my teenage years that I moved to the Hilltop.
Okay.
I was 13, 12 or 13 at the time. Um, and it was a transition that was both scary, um, but an opportunity for me to uh, grow as an individual, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I was a troubled youth, um, growing up in a household where my parents struggled with drug addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um, I think I had what you would call anger issues, problems,
Mm-hmm.
behavioral. Um, and it got me in involved in the wrong crowd pretty quickly. It got me in some sticky situations, but transitioning um, to the Hilltop was an opportunity to change myself,
Mm-hmm.
to reinvent myself,
Absolutely.
because I was a new kid at school, new kid in the neighborhood. I didn't feel like the peer pressure of having to uphold what people know of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was at that point where I, the opportunity to start rediscovering or reinventing myself,
Mm-hmm.
and really asking the important questions of like, who do I want to be? Who do
Yeah.
I want to become? How do I want people to view and see me?
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm grateful. I'm grateful for that opportunity to transition. Um, you know, Sometimes unfortunate situations happen,
Yeah.
um, but there's still good that can come out of it.
Yeah. For sure.
My grandmother, she raised me for a good part of my childhood, um, where my parents were unable to.
Mm-hmm.
She took me in, and one of the things that I hold dear to me was a saying that she used to use: "Turn poison into medicine."
Turn poison into medicine.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and that just kind of like over the years, it became more meaningful
Mm-hmm.
once I started to put that in practice, as far as understanding that almost in every situation, no matter how negative it might be,
Mm-hmm.
there still could be a blessing inside of that.
Absolutely. For sure.
Um, and so, um, just learning how to use that mentality or that saying to change my perspective on life
Yeah. For sure.
has helped me even to this day.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting. We were talking before we went live, and I was kind of explaining a lot of the things that people really didn't know at first about me growing up on the hill. Yeah, I had a mom that was in the church. My dad was not in the church, but there was a lot of pain and hurt and frustration inside of the home. So for me, when I ran away from home, um, there was this idea, at our time when we was youngins,
Yeah,
that the streets was not the place you ever wanted to be.
right.
But me running away from home, I actually ended up in the streets, which actually saved me from my home life.
Right.
Because my home life, I went home and I seen a lot of, abuse,
Right.
physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, from my father. Because, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know how they ended up together. Mind you, my mom and dad are still together today,
Yeah.
but at that time it made no sense,
Right.
because my mom is always good and my dad was always bad.
Right.
How did these two entities end up together?
Yeah.
But you actually escaped the a situation where you was in the east side in a place where you was doing all this negative stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and you wanted to start new.
Yeah.
So you, instead of staying there,
Right.
You guys moved to the Hilltop, which is not usually a place you want to move to
Right.
to escape.
Right.
But you did.
Yeah. It wasn't really a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, my grandmother took me in when my parents wasn't in a position to properly take care of me.
Absolutely.
And then when they got themselves in a position where they were better off to support a family and themselves, that's when I moved in with my parents.
Oh, okay.
And,
gotcha.
and they got a house on the Hilltop.
Oh, okay.
So that's when I transitioned from my grandmother's house back to my parents.
Oh, okay.
Which was on the hill.
So you said you moved to your parents' house when you were about 12, 13?
Yeah.
So what did you know about the hill and what did you experience while you were there?
You know, at that age, I didn't really know a lot, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I quickly learned. I mean, first day we moved in, there was like a huge disagreement, I guess you could say. There was about 30 people on my corner.
Yeah.
You know, and I was kind of confused because everybody had blue rags. I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
But so it was like a disagreement between Hilltop and 23rd and 25th, you know?
Yeah.
Which is, 2 blocks away, you know?
2 blocks away.
Everybody's still pretty much safe sharing the same neighborhood. But,
yeah.
You know, but for whatever reason, they wasn't getting along at that time. And it was a little bit of a culture shock to me because I had never seen it that up close and personal.
Yeah.
And in front of my house, you know,
right.
I lived I had just moved into 25th and Hill at the time.
Ooh, right there.
So yeah, we was kind of like right in the heartbeat of it all. I had just got to Jason Lee Middle School. They kicked me out of golf because too many fights and just they had enough with me. They were like, you can't come back here.
Absolutely.
And so when I got to Jason Lee, I was like, I seen like there was a lot more trouble youth there, right?
Yeah.
And it just kind of dawned on me like the attention wasn't on me.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't know me. I didn't have a reputation. And so the kids who were already known, that the focus was pretty much on them.
Yeah.
So it gave me an opportunity to kind of lay back in the cut, and be more observant of my environment, but also taking the opportunity to change how people saw me.
Yep. Change the narrative.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I started to do that, and I'm not saying like I was an angel, at that point. No. I mean, it still took a long time for me to get my act together.
Right.
To be honest, I was still lost, still haven't found myself, still trying to get fast money and I mean, I've always been a person willing to work. I actually started selling candy when I went to Jason Lee, which was one of the most beneficial decisions that I ever made.
Yeah.
And it impacted me going forward, as far as believing in myself, you know what I mean? Having
for sure.
Salesmanship, the confidence to speak to strangers.
Right.
And to ask people, ask people for a sale, learn how to communicate with different people, from all different communities and neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
And I think those skills that I learned from candy selling translated into a lot of other jobs and opportunities that I later found myself in.
That's awesome, man. So at what point, because I know we met I think you was probably maybe like 15, 16 when we met.
Yeah.
At one point, did you decide, because I didn't see you as a loud kid. I think at that point you probably calmed down when I first met you.
Yeah. I probably was 2 or 3 years into chilling out at that point in
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
That's cool though. So when did you decide that art was going to be your next move?
Oh man, it wasn't until I was 30 years old.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, that I tripped over art, and I say that because I wasn't trying to be an artist, right? I started a new job, and the hours weren't as steady as I would like it. I had a lot of downtime, and I decided to figure out how to make money when I wasn't at work.
Gotcha.
Right. And so the idea of selling T-shirts came to mind.
Yeah.
It's like, who doesn't need a T-shirt? Who doesn't like T-shirts? I think that's be something that easy to start up, get off the ground, create, and sell.
Yeah.
I knew I had a little bit of art skill, so I figured, it would be something that would be pretty easy to try.
Yeah, for sure.
But I only had experience in drawing in pencil and pen.
Okay.
Right. And it dawned on me, once I figured out, okay, I'll try this, that pencil and pen, as far as it going on a T-shirt is going to get pretty boring pretty fast.
Yeah.
So I started to ponder, like, how am I going to get color on these T-shirts? Like, how do I make the T-shirts pop more, if I want to do it in a blue T-shirt or black, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I came to the decision to either start doing digital artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Procreate was one of the things that was on the list. And I did a little research on that. And I was like, man, it's a lot. There's a lot of information that I have to take in, study, and practice in order to make that tool work for me.
Right.
So I was like, how can I speed this process up?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man. So I ended up going to the art store, just grabbing a bunch of art supplies.
Yeah.
I grabbed some paint. That was some of the supplies that I grabbed. And I tried to paint out, and if it was fun.
Yeah.
But I sucked. I was like, I can't put this on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So I kind of like put the T-shirts on hold. I said, give yourself 6 months, get your skill up a little bit, and then, come back.
Right.
So, I went from canvas to canvas to canvas to canvas. I basically started at painting stick figures, literally.
Yeah.
And then adding, different elements of how I viewed art at the time.
Right.
With, shadow, shape, depth, composition, like all of these little tools. I was going to YouTube, looking up how to paint and stuff like that.
Right.
And so I kind of just started like treating those skills like Lego bricks, one on top of another.
Yeah.
And just layering these skills one by one. And at the end of the 6th month, I kind of forgot about the T-shirt. I just fell in love with the process of growth. I was excited to see my own growth in the canvas.
Right.
And it just never stopped. And that idea of like, creating T-shirts to sell kind of just grew into a passion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I became passionate about art. Like art became life to me. Like almost nothing even existed in the early times, you know, of like discovering art and discovering like all these genres in the different avenues of what art was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how art is viewed, how art was created. What do you do with art? Because growing up, I didn't really know many artists.
Right,
you know,
right.
Art to me was like, oh, you're making a comic book, or you're in the Sunday newspaper. You know, that was like the depth of art in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So to like actually see how vast the art world was, and all the things that you can do with art, it was kind of mind blowing to me. You know, and it just intrigued me to just figure out or find or learn. You know, I was just a student that enjoyed almost every element of what art was.
Yeah. So when you first started, like you said, you first started doing Canva, and it just wasn't working.
Like, it was horrible. It was horrible, man.
So what was the first Canva that you finished and you looked at and was like, I've finally done it. I've got it. Which one do you think it was?
It was years down the line.
Yeah.
Because I think I finally built the confidence to actually share the artwork that I was doing maybe a year or two later.
Oh, really?
Wow. And people would compliment me on it, you know, and I would be in the back of my mind, I'm like, you're just being nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it took years. Literally took years before I trusted that people appreciated my artwork.
Yeah.
You know, I would say 8-9 years down the line.
That's crazy.
Is where I finally began to accept that people weren't just being nice.
Yeah. Wow. You know? And did you immediately, once you started to see that what you were creating was getting a lot of attention, did you immediately say, you know what, I'm gonna start selling them? Or did you just say, you know what, I just like showing my art? How long did it go before you was like, I really have something here, let me go ahead and, you know, just put a price on it, see what people say? Because you know, there's a lot of people. I have a lot, you know, I got a lot of friends that do art.
Yeah.
And they all either have it or they don't.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, everybody has their own thing that works for them. But you've been drawing a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Canva was foreign to you.
Yeah.
Eventually got to a place where it looked nice enough to show.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to say, you know what, you got to pay such and such and such if you want this to be in your house. When did you get to a place where you was like, you know, my art is that good now?
I mean, honestly, I still struggle with that.
You still struggle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the opportunity to sell art came before I was prepared.
Oh, really? Wow.
I was sharing art, and then people would inquire about purchasing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that is what kind of like built my own confidence up to even look at my artwork as sellable.
Yeah.
Right. Was that I wasn't necessarily trying to share it or sell it. I was just sharing it, and people wanted to buy it.
Right.
You know, and so like that kind of like told me maybe it is good enough to sell. You know, but I feel like I've always been the artist who, for me, I always want my art. I want to make my art affordable for as long as possible.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, because I know in the art world, once you get to a certain level, for a large demographic, you're unreachable, right? Like there's a certain level of achievement when you get to artists. For some artists, where the average person with the average income can't afford your work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And coming from an underprivileged home and background,
Yeah.
like I know what it feels like to not be able to have something that you really like or appreciate
Yeah.
to be out of reach.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
and so um, that's something that I'm conscious of,
Mm.
right? Where sometimes I have conversations or even disagreements with some of my friends and family members about art prices, right? And they feel like I should be charging a lot more,
Mm.
you know, and they're probably right, you know, to a certain extent,
Mm.
you know, but for me, art is also an investment,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
It's not
know,
cheap.
um, and if you're willing to support me, you know, and I have I take the will to grow as an artist, right? As I grow and as my art becomes more valuable, so does what you bought from me,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Absolutely.
So it's
Facts.
it's like um, we're helping each other out. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I want to help out as many people as I possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um,
Absolutely.
I think that there are some individuals out here who recognize that my art is priced low,
Mm-hmm.
right? And there's several different types of supporters. There are supporters who want to support you because you know you changed your life and that you're doing something positive with
Yeah, for
yourself.
sure.
There's artists who love your work and just want it in their homes, and then there's some people who are purchasing it solely for the come up. You know what I mean?
Because they know one day that your art's going to be priceless.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
That's interesting when you say it like that. Because you don't really think people would just buy something knowing that you're going to be the LeBron James of the art world.
well,
But it makes sense though, you know,
yeah,
because like you said, you're still learning, you're still
right,
growing, and look at what we're seeing from someone that hasn't even reached their highest potential yet.
right.
It's
And
like,
it's a it's it's a risk, right?
yeah.
But the idea is to find as many young artists, brand new artists
Mm-hmm.
who started and get their work while it's affordable
Yeah.
before they blow up.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And so that's a part of the art game, the art world, is people are out there searching for new artists, new talent, right? And try to uh, grab something, you know, from them before it becomes unattainable or
Yeah.
out of reach.
Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
and that's a part of the game. And I'm not hating on it at all.
Right.
But I definitely would much rather have somebody purchase my art because they appreciate it and they
Yeah,
like
for
it
sure.
versus, you know, looking at it as a potential lick later
Yeah.
on in life. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And if that's what it becomes,
So be it.
yeah, it's yours. You know, you
Yeah.
can do what you want to do with it.
Right.
You know, and if I can do that for you, that's my ultimate goal. You know, one of my, I mean, it's the reason why I want to continue to grow is to help those who help me also.
Mm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we're all winning. You know,
Yeah.
I want us to all win. You
Yeah,
know,
for
and
sure.
art it has been a um a luxury.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that isn't afforded to a lot. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's by chance that I didn't know any artists growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of like for the affluent, you know, the wealthy, the privileged. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And um, the reason why I make the kind of art that I make is because I want other people who look like me, who sound like me, talk like me, you know, think like me, feel like me, to understand that art is for them too.
Absolutely.
Because I
Great
didn't
point.
always feel that way.
Great point. Great point. I gotta say something too. Mind you, guys, we're gonna jump back into the and talk about the art behind us. But I'm gonna talk about this. Like, we grew up on A Street. Well, Hilltop, the whole Hilltop, from 25th to 6th Ave. A Street's where we used to hang out at. We used to hang out at our guy Dub T's house.
Yeah.
Dub T, um, lived with his mom, but his mom was in the hospital a lot of the time dealing with. Um, she had cancer, right? Was it cancer or what? Well, it was something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was cancer, and so he spent a lot of time pretty much by himself. So Dubs was the hangout spot. These guys used to do their thing. I mean, you know, they did their thing. I'm not trying to put that out there, but y'all know they did their thing. Me and my boy Sham, we still be over there. We used to sing all the time. They had this record player. We used to sing all the time. We just used to hang out. There was a lot of drugs, a lot of violence, a lot of gangs, the whole nine. The Hilltop was known for that in the 90s. When we were growing up, we talked about leaving the Hilltop because none of us really wanted to be in that environment. We loved each other. We hung out tight. We used to go all day, every day. That's how it was. But we didn't want to stay there because we knew about the things that was going on when we left that house or when we left our houses. How did you feel when they said, "Hey, we want you to create a mural on the hilltop. We want you to paint a mural on the hilltop for the people"? How'd you feel about that? Because I know somebody had to have asked you, say, "Yo, can you come and do this for us?"
Yeah, it felt like hitting the lottery, honestly.
And if y'all haven't seen the mural that this guy painted on the hilltop, check it out. Go online and check it out.
Thank you, man.
It's tight, man.
Yeah.
Like tight. Real talk. That's major. It's huge.
It was.
Major.
So what's interesting about that mural, well, there's actually two murals that the Manny Ellis was also a mural that I had the pleasure of being a part of. Those murals are on 11th and Martin Luther King, or J, right? The first mural that I saw was across the street from People's Park.
Yep.
Well, not the first mural that I saw. The first mural that I connected to, right, was the mural with the image of Martin Luther King, right? That was the first time. I was probably about 10 years old, 9 years old, or something like that, riding my grandfather's van, and I saw this mural that depicted images of Black people, right? And that was one of my earliest memories of connecting to public artwork. And at that moment, I always had the urge to paint or draw on walls. You know, I would doodle and stuff. I couldn't do too much because I'd probably get beat for doing it, right? But like the feeling or the urge was probably greater than what I could actually express.
For sure.
But it was at that moment that I wanted to do that, and this was years before I even considered art or considered myself to be an artist. But it's just the correlation between where my mural is and where that mural is a block away from each other.
Wow. Yeah.
It was almost like a complete circle, a full circle. That came around. You know what I mean? And it's my hopes that artwork and my artwork and whatever is also a beacon or a source of inspiration for youth, that sees it and it plants that seed that that they too can possibly be involved or engaged in artwork.
That's real major, man. Like, when I first heard about it, back in the day, like when it first all came to pass, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
me too.
That's my guy right there, yo.
Me too. Yeah.
That was pretty major, man. Like, there's not a lot of people that can say that.
Yeah.
I'm extremely proud of you for continued success and not being an exception to the rule or following the statistics that were said about us and created by all these other people about us, that we can't make it out the hilltop without going into jail or prison or dead.
Right.
Like, you have totally made it and continue to push forward and enlighten people. And and I got a friend, Kia. You know Kia?
Yeah.
She's talking about you were the reason why she picked up her paint brushes and got back at it again.
Oh, that's dope.
So that in itself is it's doing exactly what you thought it was going to do.
That's dope.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
so
probably one of my greatest inspirations.
Yeah,
is to inspire others.
Yep.
Because I started late. I started when I was like 30 years old. So if I can encourage people to start now, late, or even earlier,
absolutely.
I think that that's kind of like what my form of paying it forward is.
Yeah. Absolutely. So this is what we're going to do real quick, guys, because we do have some art here, and I really would like for him to just explain his thought process behind the art that we have brought to show you guys. Is all this art for sale if anybody wants it?
Well, I think my wife will get mad if I sold this one.
That one is.
But I mean,
sick,
I think it's possible. Like we can negotiate.
Yeah.
To come up with a price that's going to be happy enough for where my wife is like, okay. But I know that's something that she really likes. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
She doesn't actually ask me to not sell too many pieces. You know what I mean? So when she does, it's kind of like the least I can do is allow her to, appreciate it in her home.
Absolutely.
In our home.
So how important is your family? I'm gonna take a skid over to the left because I did tell him I wanted to know a little bit more about your thoughts on your family. How important is your family to everything that you do in life?
Oh, extremely important. I have two boys, two sons, 7 and 13,
mm-hmm.
Khalil and King, and they are also the reason why I wanted to create a side business,
mm-hmm.
Outside of my job, because I wanted them to be able to experience and see what it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I didn't want to tell them that it was possible. I wanted to show them that it is possible. You know what I mean? And I wanted to be, I wanted to just be a lesson, I guess, to them personally,
mm-hmm.
right? That somebody that they know took those steps, and walked in faith. Absolutely. To make it happen.
Absolutely.
And I think it's important that we as parents, as community citizens, are visible for the youth to see what that looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's I think it's a proven fact and understanding that our youth are going to follow in the footsteps that they feel or see themselves being successful at. Right. It's not a mistake that so many inner city kids want to be musicians, rappers, basketball players, football players. It's because that's where we see ourselves being successful at.
Right. Absolutely.
And so as long as we are giving examples that is visible for them to see,
mm-hmm.
you're providing another doorway for them to walk through.
Right. Absolutely.
But yes, my family, I have brothers, sisters, cousins, a wife, mothers. They're all important to me. You know what I mean? And they've all encouraged, supported me, and I'm truly blessed and grateful for each and every one of them.
Absolutely. I think I seen one of your sisters jumped on and said she's watching. So shout out to the fam if they're watching right now. So let's talk a little bit about the art. Let's start at we're gonna start over on his side and then work our way this way. So we're gonna kind of talk a little bit about this picture right here. Show it. Let's start with the young man over here.
I just want to say that just a quick breakdown of what my art is and why it's important to me is that, like you said, there are a lot of negative stereotypes when it comes to us, right, and our culture. And there's a lot of things that are going against us.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And so there came a point in time where I decided to use my art as a tool to battle against the negative stereotypes. Right. And so I chose to use my heroes and the people who inspired me and have given me hope, right?
Yeah.
And shine a little bit more light on who they are, just to show my appreciation for them.
Absolutely.
But also to highlight that we aren't just what the negative images and statements that may come across about who we are as a people in a culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I choose to shine or give most of my energy into highlighting the beauty of Blackness. Right. Because growing up, I thought nappy hair was a negative thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Having dark skin was a negative thing.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of elements to our culture that is put in a negative light, and I chose to use my artwork to flip that around and show it in a beautiful form.
Absolutely.
And highlight that we are beautiful and we do contribute positively to the world.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And so I did bring some of my art pieces here that kind of like speak and highlight to that.
Okay.
This one is a painting of the late.
I know you guys can't see him but you can still hear him.
Virgil Abloh. Yeah.
So he's starting with the first one over there.
He was an artist himself. He also was the artistic director of Louis Vuitton. He was a designer. He had his own company, Pyrex and Off-White. He passed from cancer about 2 months ago. But I think that he was, an inspiration to me personally to see how a street artist translated into fashion, that translated into a luxury brand, and how his work and who he was transcended how we viewed Black designers, and that like we do deserve a seat at the table.
Absolutely.
And that we are people who can create waves and create something that is looked at as valuable. So this was a tribute that I created because of that.
Sick. That's really sick. I actually thought that was DMX for a minute. I don't know if anybody told you that, but I really thought that was DMX, y'all. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm slipping and blowing and I can't get up. No, I'm just kidding. That's tight though, man. That's clean. Yeah, it's really clean.
Thank you.
All right, let's talk about this one because this one is like, they're all bomb. I put them all on my wall, but man, that one is just like, I'm feeling that.
This one isn't a celebrity per se, but it is about. It's a visual piece that expresses to me how to allow your mind and your vision bloom.
Interesting.
I think that if properly watered, our mentality and our perspective can bloom into beautiful things.
Man.
And so that's what this piece represents.
That is a sick analogy.
Yeah.
Y'all get that? I hope you guys are listening.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Thank you. Yeah. I do like that. I do. I mean,
that was sick though.
It's
That's sick.
I'm trying to transition from um, a more personal space of sharing my own thoughts.
Yeah.
In my own artwork.
Yeah.
And I think that's what is going to create more individuality to who I am as an artist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, tell us a little bit about this, because this one is popping right now. This is like real. This is a real necklace.
Yeah.
That's
and
sick.
Fabric and some flowers.
Got some flowers.
Yeah, this is a portrait of an artist. Her name is Her. She's an R&B singer.
Okay, yeah.
And I love her music. I am a huge fan of her craft. She is truly talented. I had the pleasure of seeing her in Portland at a concert a couple of months ago. Me and my wife went down there. I had meet and greet VIP tickets.
Okay.
And so I was planning on getting this piece signed by her, but she canceled the meet and greet, and so that didn't happen. So,
hey, Her, if you're watching,
if you watching,
my guy, he painted something beautiful for you.
No, but yeah, that was pretty much the reason why I created this piece. I mean, I do love her music. I still bump it, even though she canceled on me. I don't take it personal. She doesn't even know me, so I know it wasn't like because of him.
Right.
But I do like to incorporate different mediums in artwork. I'm still searching for my style. I'm still searching for my own individual voice. So, each piece is going to have its own uniqueness.
Absolutely.
Because I'm still trying. It's still trial and error with me.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to find something that catches my eye and says, yeah, I can roll with that. I can do a series with that.
Real fabric too, by the way, y'all. If you're watching, that is real fabric.
Yeah.
It's not that fake stuff.
Yeah. But yeah.
All right, so tell us a little bit about Lauren.
Yeah, Lauren. So I have a list of ideas and people that I want to do portraits of, right, or concepts of art. And my list is long, and Lauren has definitely been one of them that has been on my list for a long time, for years. And I find I don't just go down the list. There's kind of a internal inspiration that comes to me, and that's when I decide when to do it.
Okay.
Right. Like sometimes I'll have an artist block where I'm not sure what to do, and I'll just go down my list. And if anything pops out or speaks to me at that time, I'll run with that.
Yeah, for sure.
Usually that's I don't know. I take it as a sign. If I'm art, I have to feel it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do get a lot of requests for commissions, and it's hard to take on every request because there has to be some type of emotional connection to the artwork.
Yeah.
And I think that is what is translated in my work is that there's passion behind what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Right. And I used to get really happy when, I get somebody reached out and they said they want me to paint a picture of their mom or their grandmother or whatever, but then, quickly art turned into a job. Yeah. And that took the fun out of it. And honestly, that I became depressed at some point because I was going from commission to commission to commission, and I didn't even have time to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Now I'm just painting for other people and bringing their ideas to life, which is important for some artists, and it was I was grateful to be someone that somebody reached out and wanted me to do a piece for them personally. Absolutely. But painting without passion isn't just,
it's work.
Yeah, it's work, and it didn't make me happy. You know, and when you're producing artwork in that mind state, it's going to affect the finished product.
Yeah, it's interesting, you know, and I'm okay to say this on while we're live, but I asked him to do an art piece for me, and it was a couple years ago. Remember, a couple years ago. It was a while ago.
Okay.
A while ago.
I didn't even remember, but I mean, like, I get a lot. Like,
but I wanted
to, I couldn't.
And bro, I wasn't even tripping though, because I knew how busy you was.
Yeah.
I knew that you was in high demand, so I knew that the piece would take a while for me to get it. And you know, you had sent me a message back about it, and we talked about it for a little bit. And it's going to happen, mind you, it's going to happen. It's just all about the timing.
Yeah.
And you know, working out the angles of what works best as far as for him and for me. I mean, obviously, like he said, he don't want to be doing work all the time. I mean, if it's something that has some kind of significance, like if my mom passed away, mind you, I shouldn't even say that.
Right.
My mom's still living. Right. But if something like that was to happen and I asked you to fix, I know that's it's different than just say, hey, can you paint a picture of my girls?
Absolutely. And like, I don't want to give the wrong impression, but I'd much rather do a piece of somebody that has transitioned rather than your dog that's alive. And I don't mean any disrespect to that. Like, I understand that people's pets are like their kids and they're important to them, right?
Yeah.
But at least for me, I'm able to connect with the fact that you lost a loved one.
Yeah.
I know what that is, what that feels like.
Right.
I know what that means, right? And
Absolutely.
now you have given me something to grab onto to what I'm putting into this artwork. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So memorial pieces, I tend to take on more than just your average commission work.
Yeah.
And I don't mean any offense to that. Like, I know some people really get upset or take it personally, but I'm trying to do both of us a favor. I don't want to produce something that I'm not proud of and I can't stand by, right? And I don't want to charge you for something that is not the best that it could be.
Absolutely.
You know, and so I feel like we have to work hand in hand when it comes to that. Like, I need you to understand that, like, you got to give me something to like grab onto. Something to motivate me to put into this work.
Absolutely.
Like these people have, you know what I'm saying? Like this work has given me something to put into that turns out beautiful, right? Without their inspiration, these pieces wouldn't turn out the way that they have.
Absolutely. And
that's just, I mean, I personally know what pieces have that and what pieces don't. And I just want to put out quality work. You know,
absolutely.
I just want to be able to stand by and to be proud of what I'm doing. And money can't really jeopardize that. You know, like I would choose quality work over money any day. You know.
So I got a couple more questions, and then we're gonna close up shop.
Excuse me. I would choose quality work over money any day. I think I said that backwards, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure. So how important is your faith?
Faith has been something that I have been working on lately. I went through like this weird stage of like questioning God and religion for a while, and but I've been doing some growing, since then, and I've arrived to a place where I understand that there is something greater than us, right?
Absolutely.
I believe that there is a creator. I believe that there's a higher power.
Mm.
You know, so I do believe in, you know, what some call Allah, what some call Jesus, what some call Buddha, you know, whatever the title may is. I don't have a title for what mines are,
Mm.
right? I'm comfortable with saying the Creator. I'm comfortable with saying the Most High.
Mm.
I haven't arrived to a place where, if I am even comfortable calling God a man or a woman, right? Like,
Right.
I for me, God and spirituality is personal,
Mm.
you know, and I think
Mm.
that that's what it should be. You know, I believe that many of us have a religion or a spirituality that was given down to us from our ancestors, from our families.
Yeah.
And some of us believe in things that we don't really truly understand. And I'm just in a place where I would like to have my own understanding of what that is.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that we have the freedom to believe, or the freedom of faith, the freedom to have our own religion. I don't take that lightly. I think that's something that's really respectable, to have your own philosophy. But I do think it's important to believe in something.
Yeah.
And what works for you works for you.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and I encourage that. I don't look down on anybody for what they believe in, for what serves them and what they serve. Um, and I'm still in a place where I'm still searching, you know. But I do pray, I do give thanks, you know, and I am grateful for all that the Creator has given to me,
Yeah.
to this day.
Yeah. Absolutely. We was talking about that earlier too. You know, about the people we grew up with,
Yeah,
and how many people that we have seen um, recently that are struggling.
yeah,
You know, a lot worse than we are,
yeah,
and it's always good to just be thankful um, for the things that we do have. Whether there is a, like you said, whether it's Allah, whether it's Buddha, whatever it is that you believe in,
yeah,
that's about having a personal relationship with whatever you believe in,
yeah,
and that's it.
yeah,
You know, I mean, you can share your truth, but that doesn't mean that your truth is going to fit what everybody else is playing.
absolutely.
So, it's all about the personal relationship, and
Yeah,
and being thankful,
yeah,
because
yeah.
man,
It can get worse.
it could always be a lot worse.
Yeah,
It could always be a lot worse.
for
So,
sure.
absolutely. So let's give you a scenario question real quick, because I always like to do scenario questions. Really simple one though.
Okay.
You're in a room full of kids, talking to them about art.
Yeah.
This young man comes up to you and says that my dad hates my art. My
Mm-hmm.
mom wants me to throw away my color pens
Mm-hmm.
and not use them anymore. But I love doing art.
Mm-hmm. That's a
What do
good
you tell
question.
him? What do you tell him? What is your words for that? The
Well,
only place he's able to do it is at home for the
mm-hmm.
most part, because he goes to school,
Yeah.
but after school he goes right home.
Right.
But then he gets all this flack from home
Yeah.
for doing it.
Right.
What is your words for that young man?
I tell him to do what makes him happy. Right. I would tell him that none of us can live for someone else.
Mm.
Right. That we have to live for our own individual selves. Right. Understanding that art, um, my art isn't going to be loved and appreciated by everyone,
Right.
and that's okay.
Right.
Like just like you like what you like, your parents are also allowed to like what they like. And just because they don't like your artwork doesn't mean somebody's not going to like your artwork,
Mm.
right? No matter what your artwork looks like, there are going to be people out here that are going to appreciate your artwork,
Yeah.
right? And that no matter what you create, there's a lane for it.
Mm-hmm.
And so if that's what makes you happy, if that's what feeds you, I'd say continue to do it, regardless if it pisses people off, regardless if they don't like it. regardless if they don't support it. Sometimes you have to just support yourself.
Absolutely. We got a couple questions for the audience that's watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again. Kia says, what type of paint do you typically use on your canvases?
Latex basics is pretty much what I mostly use. Acrylic. I would like to try oil, but I don't know. There's the chemicals. I heard can be kind of dangerous. I mean, you always can. It's safe to use in a well ventilated area, which wouldn't really necessarily be a problem for me. But I think what has been keeping me from trying oils for the most part was the said drying time.
Oh, okay.
Like I've heard anywhere from 2 months, 6 months, a year.
Really?
Oil can take to dry.
That's crazy.
And I can be a messy artist, and I don't and I heard that oil is kind of hard to come off once it gets on something, right? And I'm sure my wife would not appreciate oil paint all over the house.
For sure.
So that's one of the reasons that I haven't, but I will. One day I'll definitely try to learn how to use oil.
Okay.
I do like how it looks. I do like how oil paintings look. And I've been told that that's what a lot of galleries look for. Doesn't mean if you are just an acrylic artist or whatever meaning that you use, galleries won't pick up your work. That's not true. I've seen all mediums in galleries. I've seen all mediums be equally appreciated to oil.
Gotcha. She said, what made you begin to use fabrics on paintings? Using the fabric on paintings.
Again,
trying something new.
I'm still trying to find my own individuality. So, every piece is going to have somewhat of a slightly different approach. And a lot of times your medium, right? The choice of what you're using to create your artwork can be your style. And so just exploring different techniques on how to create art is a part of my journey in search of finding myself.
Absolutely. She asked a question earlier, and I'm not going to forget your questions, Kia. I see you coming. Are you going to be teaching any classes anytime soon?
I've thought about it. I've been asked a lot, and honestly, it kind of makes me uncomfortable. Because I believe art is an expression of self, right? And I can't teach you how to express who you are or what you want to say.
Yeah.
Somebody can't teach you how to be yourself.
Right.
I can show you how I do it, right? But I'm afraid to influence someone else into thinking or feeling like this is what their artwork needs to be. I think that I feel like art is the opposite of that. Art is about finding your own individuality and sharing that with the world. And I would love to figure out how to encourage people to do that. But as far as like an art instructor or art class, like it sounds like what you want me to do is show you how to do what I do. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's kind of doing a disservice. I would like to show you, I would like to help you or encourage you how to do yourself.
Yeah. Good one. Good answer. So, guys, we've been on a little over an hour. I do have an event that I have to get to. The all white party is going to be starting here really soon. So I'm going to ask one last question, and then if you guys want to ask any other questions in the comment box, I'll get them to them after we go off. But what's next? What's going on with you moving forward into 2022? Anything that we can look forward to?
Well, Not necessarily. I'm kind of dealing with like some personal issues in my home. Um, um, I have a family member that was recently diagnosed, and I'm going to be focusing on getting them back in a good space and healthy. Um, and so like that kind of has put a recent hold on what I'm doing, and not to use that as an excuse, but like I'm not really planning on doing much, but spending time with them, helping them recover. You know what I'm saying, and going through this process with them. Um, I'll still will be creating art. I'll still be growing. I'll still will be open to a little activity and functions,
Yeah,
but I'm going to be limited on how much time and energy I'm going to be able to give until you know they are in a better place
absolutely.
physically, medically.
Well, on behalf of myself and the circle, we will be praying for you and your family.
Thank you.
Hopefully, whatever the diagnosis is something that can be, you know, taken care of.
Yeah,
And
it is.
you're absolutely doing the right thing. Obviously, it's family. And family needs family, and as much support as you can give. I mean, that's what they need.
Yeah.
I wish you guys the best. Like I said, we'll be praying for you, and man, I'm very thankful that you made it here, and I had an opportunity to catch up with you, and just let you know, man, you're doing an amazing job, not just with your paintings, but in life. I mean, just talking to you, very well spoken. You're very personable, and kids are important to you. I noticed that a lot of things that we talked about, you always resulted back to helping the little ones,
Yeah.
the ones that are going to come after us,
Yeah.
and that's extremely important. And my journey and your journey, and it should be important in everybody's journey. Is you know, what are we going to leave for the ones that are coming after us? What's that legacy going to be?
Yeah.
And you sound like you're in the right path. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And I thank you so much, man,
Yeah.
for hanging out with me today.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
It, you reached out in the right time. You know what I'm saying? And I've just been doing a lot of soul searching lately.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to just make myself more accessible.
Mm.
I know that life can get wild, but like
Yeah.
you can't allow that to force you to crawl into a little hole
Yeah.
and hide. You just kind of have to still be open and available, to the world.
Mhm.
Especially when you're doing you're offering services, and products to the world. Like you have to keep that door open.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
absolutely.
thank you for reaching out and giving me the opportunity to share my artwork and my story.
Yeah, for sure.
And just giving me a platform to speak on.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you, man. Good out. All right, you guys, we're gonna close up shop. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been an amazing show. Please make sure you guys go back and watch it if you missed the beginning. It's been a great start to finish Circle Talk for the day. Next week, we're going to be with a young man that is retired military. He's a fitness instructor and a motivational speaker. His name is Indigo. He goes by Indigo. Make sure you guys check that out. It's going to be next week, next Saturday. So on behalf of the Circle, it's your boy DH. Adika's in the building. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your days. We will see you guys at the all-white party in about an hour. I'll be going live again. All right. So take care. Love you guys. Peace.